you doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7 back again with a view. Well, not from the van, but you know, needs must, time available and all of that. I'm laughing and joking on. Of course, I wasn't laughing and joking on yesterday. I was as sick as a fucking dog as Newcastle United limped to a bit of a limp, pathetic display, a 3-1 defeat. It's not so much the result, although you know it's not a great result getting beat, but the performance, it was shite at the beginning, it was shite in the middle, it was shite at the end. Basically it was shite. I know we had a little bit of a go at the end, we scored the goal, but far too little, far too late. Newcastle United come back with no points. We are from last season to this season obviously a point worse off than what we were then. Last season we got the 0-0. I don't know how the fuck we got the 0-0 to be honest last season, but this season we certainly got what we deserved. We deserved fuck all out of that game yesterday, and that is what we got. They wanted it much more than us. They were all over us like an absolute fucking fly round shit. They really were. And it's not good enough. It's not good enough. There's a lot of people on social media, Twitter, straight after the game, it was as if we were getting ready to be relegated. It's far from that sort of situation. It's far from panic stations. There's one or two saying some right stupid things on social media, but there again, isn't there always a few people saying a few stupid things on social media? There is no need or cause to panic at all. We are a point worse off than what we were compared to results from last season to this season. Look at what Aston Villa did after an absolutely disastrous start, you know, last season, for example. I have confidence in this manager. I have confidence in this team, these players, to be able to turn this around. And I think things will get better as the fixture list gets easier. The fixture list was cruel to us, there's no doubt about it. You look at the comparison between toughness of fixtures that we put up on the socials ourselves recently. I think Sky did the work, they pounded the numbers, and our fixtures were the most difficult ones out of everybody, so it's no surprise that our results haven't been great. I think in some of the games gone by, you know, the performances haven't been that bad. Yesterday the performance wasn't great, and the result wasn't great. I think against Manchester City we didn't maybe do ourselves justice, but we had situations, we kept it tight, and we could have snatched it if for some poor decisions. Against Liverpool, if it wasn't for an absolute crazy 10 minutes at the end of the game, I think we deserved at least a point out of that game. And against Aston Villa, who are an absolutely really good team, a team I expect to be at the top come the end of the season, we absolutely obliterated them. So look, we've got Brentford coming up, we've then got some other winnable games on paper I'll give you, but I think it's far too early to judge this season and write it off and this, that and the other. And I get people who are saying, look, you know, we want to be progressing, we should be able to get back into the top 4 and stuff like that. You've only got to see with what's happened for Manchester City and stuff, after all the money that they've spent, it doesn't always click straight away. It does take time. You know, there are going to be ups and downs. You looked at the documentary for the Amazon documentary, and even the ownership are keen to stress, and this is obviously last season when it's all going great, stressing that this season would be challenging given the games, the age of the squad, the players at our disposal, the commercial deals that we tied into for a set period of time, etc, etc, etc. We always knew that this campaign was going to be a tricky one, and you know, it's proven to be so. But do I believe that Eddie Howe at the moment, as I record this, is working away, beavering away, leaving no stone unturned to get the results and the performances the way that they need to be? Yeah, I'm absolutely 100% convinced that that is what he will be doing. Do I believe as well that, you know, they are deeply concerned, they care about the club, the position that the club's in, what we're doing, every aspect of it? Yeah, I do. We've got people who, you know, at the very top, the ownership, the executive team, the manager, the players, everybody who cares deeply about the club. So I know, and I think I can say quite confidently, that they will turn it around and things will get better. You know, after a couple of games that we've got coming up, a couple of victories, a couple of decent performances, and all will seem a heck of a lot more rosier and well off in the garden for Newcastle United, you know, as opposed to as it does at the moment. Yes, it fucking hurts. It kills, you know, when we lose games and so on. But you know, we enjoy, we celebrate, we have a good time when results go our way, and when they do not, we remain, you know, committed, loyal and proud and back the lads. And certainly the fans down, you know, at Brighton yesterday were backing the lads. The support was absolutely fantastic. We'd absolutely lost and been obliterated by Brighton, and you know, they're still singing, they're still clapping, they still stayed back. Absolutely magnificent. You know, there's no doubting at all the fact that the club is truly united. So even if we go through bad, difficult times, difficult results, so on and so forth, everybody's still rowing in the same direction, and it's still going to be a fantastic campaign. And we've got some great games to look forward to, including Champions League games. AC Milan, the Tonali derby coming up very shortly on the back of the Brentford game, which has now been moved forward, hasn't it, to 5:30 on a Saturday as opposed to the Sunday kick-off that it originally was going to be. So yeah, all that sort of thing kicking off and moving around at the moment. But yeah, to top up and to sum up from Brighton, it was shit. It wasn't good enough. The players know that, the managers knows that. It's now just having that confidence and belief in everything that is Newcastle United, that they will go and look to put this right as quickly as possible, and that we're able to, you know, start racking them wins up. And then I think everybody else will start to feel a damn sight more relaxed about things. But I just think it's important that you look at it in the context of the wider picture, the bigger picture. You know, we've got Champions League to look forward to. We've got some very winnable fixtures coming up. It's not been great. It's not been fantastic. Yesterday was probably the worst performance of the lot, if we're being, you know, entirely honest and stuff. But we've got to take it on the chin. These things are going to happen. I think most of us knew that the results, the high levels from last season, were going to be difficult to replicate this season. But I still think it will be a very successful campaign this time round, and I still think we will end up in a European competition. And who knows what can happen in Europe or one of the cup competitions this campaign as well. So everybody just needs to relax and chill and look at things in that bigger context, and, you know, trust, as we trusted last season, in the people who are in the positions that they are in. That's all I would say about it personally. The transfer window is closed. That distraction is over with for the time being. Although saying that, as I'm talking right now, I'm hearing about Isaac Hayden heading over to Standard Liège. Their transfer windows don't marry up with the UK one, so that deal can still go through. Hopefully no last minute complications or glitches, which, you know, Isaac Hayden had when it was coming to a deal with Luton and Sheffield Wednesday. Hendrick's out, so that's another positive. He's into the final months of his deal, and he's tied up for a loan down to South Yorkshire with Sheffield Wednesday in the Steel City, so that's him away. Got a few players out, brought one or two youth players in. I think a lot of people have had a lot to say with regards to extra players. Could funds have been targeted from one set of signings through to another? Should we have signed another centre-back? Should we have signed a CDM? Should we have signed a right winger? I think there will be lots of players come and lots of players going over the next couple of years, but they have been keen to stress, and if you listen to what they say, they always stick to what they say. And one of the main mantras, evolution, not revolution. So we're not going to expect it all of a sudden at once. So, you know, positions were targeted. You know, we made signings. We've ticked some of the positions off. There's other positions that do need to be looked at still. They will get looked at, I've no doubt about it, over upcoming transfer windows in January, then into next summer, and so on and so forth. But you can't sort all the problems out over one window. The deals are too complicated. The prices have gone too high. We are, whether we like it or not, limited by FFP, commercial constraints, previous bad deals that the club made under the Ashley regime. All of those are problematic. But, you know, you saw on the documentary, the Adidas deal, with the money that brings in. There's talk about stadium sponsorships, training ground sponsorships, training gear sponsorships for future years going ahead. Deals that we couldn't do previously because of the bad deals that Mike Ashley and Lee Charnley, aka Mr. fucking Slip-On Shoes, arranged for us. So, you know, they've had to do all of this spending, all of this squad rebuilding under the most difficult financial constraints possible. I honestly believe if there was no FFP, if there was no worries, if they could just buy who they wanted to buy, I think the money would be there. I really do. Our owners have deep pockets, but the club can't just spend all of that because there will be consequences, whether that be straight away or further down the line. It's the same with some of the other clubs who are spending like Chelsea, over $1 billion. There is going to come a time when the consequences come, and then you need to stand up and face up to that, face up to do the decisions that you have made, you know. So I think it's a positive that the club is being run in a business-like manner, but with people who care about the club and who are putting the best interests of the club first. But they're not going to take any stupid risks. They're not going to be breaking any rules, because you know at Newcastle United the magnifying glass is over our club in a way that no other club is watched and magnified, and everything is checked, double checked, triple checked from Newcastle United. This isn't the case at some of the other clubs, so they do have to be ultra careful, because literally I think that if we put a toenail out of order, if there's a penny over, they would absolutely and utterly, the Premier League and the other 19 clubs would love nothing greater than to shit on us from a great high height. So you can't give them any opportunity. So look, the transfer window's done. That's done and sorted. We brought in some great players, 4 great first teamers, and obviously some good youngsters as well. Would have been nice to have got a few more in. Would have been nice, you know, when you've got a bottoming out, to bring somebody else in with, you know, that sort of quality. Instead, we've had to totally rip up the back four really and jiggle things around, bring our left back to centre back, bring a new left back in, so on and so forth. It's difficult. You know, I think ideally, in an ideal world, Eddie Howe would have liked more and to have gone bigger, faster if possible. But it's the world that we operate in. These are the rules that we've got to agree to. These are the rules that when the owners took over the club, they had to sign up to and agree to. So it's, you know, doing it with one hand tied behind your back. But yesterday, no doubt about it, was absolutely and utterly crap. But take a step back, look at the bigger picture, trust the process, trust the people, the custodians of the club, the owners of the club, trust Eddie Howe and his coaches. They care, they are committed, they will be working day and night. And I think the group of players that we have got, I think first of all, care about the club. They're passionate about the club, passionate about the project. Everybody talks about the project, and they know that things that will come good, and we know that they will put it right on the park. Yes, there are issues in that team, there's no doubt about it. We need a little bit more pace at the back. Botman comes in, luckily injuries isn't as bad as what we thought. Botman will come back in for the next match, and then that frees up Dan Burn to maybe either be on the bench or to be going back at left back. Lewis Hall, it gives him another couple of more weeks to come through and improve his fitness and his integration into Newcastle United. Could he start the next game? Possibly. Livramento's had a little bit more used to the training expectations. Could he be rotated in? So maybe he plays a game, then Trippier plays a game, one in Europe, one in the Premier League, so on and so forth. I think that's where they're looking to get to. I think the players who we have signed, some of you could argue that they're not in critical positions, but they will see plenty of action over the course of this season. I've no doubt about it. So yeah, take a deep breath. I know it's shit. I know it's not great. I know it's 3 defeats on the bounce. It's not good enough. I get that. And I'm as pissed off as anybody watching it when I'm watching it. But I do think it's important to take that step back and to look and to think, 2 years ago, Bruce Ball, 2 years ago, Mike Ashley, Lee Charnley, the club literally with zero ambition. It's unrecognisable, isn't it? It's unrecognisable to that club, to them days. Yesterday wasn't great, but it's a small period of badness in an overall pretty great time that we've had as a club since the takeovers come through. But yeah, it's like anything. There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, there's going to be dips and troughs and peaks and all that sort of thing. But yeah, stand firm. The games will start coming back around again shortly. I think Eddie Howe would probably want a game pretty much straight away to get that out of our system. But look, another couple of weeks off because of the international football and commitments and stuff like that probably comes at a good time. I can't wait for the next game at St James's Park. I hope it's a great performance, we score a few goals and we just settle a few nerves, because I think that's what it is. I think there's a lot of just nervous energy because we have suffered over previous campaigns and been in relegation battles. We are very open to that possibility. This is just a couple of games at the beginning of a season where we'll get plenty of victories and stuff as well, and we'll push our way up the table. Don't look at the table until after 10 games. That's what I always try and tell myself. But there again, if you beat and destroy Aston Villa in the first game of the season, you're a little bit, we're top. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Till after 10 games, it doesn't really start to show any sort of how the table's going to look until about then, and obviously the games onwards and stuff like that. So yeah, not great, but it is what it is, and we look forward to the games coming up. The videos will continue on. Obviously, I jumped over to Ian Smith's channel to do the preview. I put the links up across our socials for that one. We also talked about some of the Newcastle United greatest comebacks, obviously after what happened with Liverpool and their comeback. We thought we'd go over that. So if you haven't already, check that video out. It's great to be on Ian's channel looking over some happier memories. I mean, I think I highlighted the 2-2 actually down at Woodison Park. Lejeune with his double. The 4-3 from back in the day, back in '97 against Leicester City, the Shearer hat-trick in 13 minutes. What a comeback that was. But there's lots of other games that we talked about and great comebacks for Newcastle United. So yeah, check it out. Provides a little bit of therapy, talking about different days, different results, better times, goals being scored, etc, etc. So yeah, the links on our socials, the links also over on Ian Smith's YouTube channel as well. We'll be back with doing the preview obviously for the Brentford game when that gets a little bit closer, and back with 1 or 2 other videos between now and then as well. If you haven't already, please do hit the subscribe button, the like button. Continue to support Magpie 24/7 as we look to get over the 2,000 marker on YouTube. That would be absolutely great. It doesn't cost anything to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and to hit the like on the video. It just helps the algorithm and so on and so forth. But yeah, I hope everybody is just relaxed and a little bit more chilled today. I know it isn't great, I know it's another defeat, but yeah, I think brighter times are honestly on the horizon. You look at the squad now compared to last season, it is better. There are glaring and gaping holes there that could have done with it, money being spent on it. But things will get better. So that's enough anyway for me waffling on now. But yeah, we'll be back with some more videos. Back in the office, I think, to do a few more videos over the next week or two, all about Newcastle United. So in the meantime, take care, keep it tuned. I need to get back, get sorted, and I'll speak to you later.